Hello and welcome to this meditation class, which is all about breath meditation. By the end of this video, you'll know all you need to know about breath meditation, because this meditation technique, I must know 20 or 30 different breath meditation techniques. But if I had to choose one, only one, then this would be it, because of its simplicity and its power. And I want you to know how to do it and understand what it's doing for you. Okay? I also want to go through a few other things with you. See, I've never met you. I don't know why you're watching this meditation class. You're very welcome, but I don't know your reasons why. And I want to give you what you want, because this meditation class is about you. Now, in general, there's only two types of people who are interested in meditation. And I'm going to give you both what you want. The first type is the sort of person who says, well, look, Francis, I really do need to get rid of this anxiety, to reduce the stress. Well, the meditation techniques I'm going to share with you really will reduce the stress, and it'll dissolve the anxiety in your life. I've experienced stress and anxiety like everybody else. And this simple breath meditation technique that I'm going to share with you will help you. It's just natural and easy. And as a side effect of doing this technique, you'll feel much more confident. You'll feel your anxiety dissolving day by day. You'll start to change and feel better about yourself, others, and life. It just happens naturally. Okay. Now, the other sort of person who's interested in meditation is looking for something else. They're looking for answers to some really deep questions about the nature of themselves and about the nature of life. Now, I personally was that sort of person. About 30 years ago, if I could just share my story, about 30 years ago, I felt that there was more to me, and I just didn't know what it was. So I'd already been brought up as a Christian, and I knew that basically it was a belief system that relied on beliefs and faith, having faith. Now, for some people, if that suits you, that's fine. I'm not questioning you. I'm just saying, for me personally, that wasn't enough. So I started to explore different meditation groups. And there's some lovely people out there teaching meditation. If I could just mention a few, I went to one meditation group and they were an Indian family, and they shared with me some beautiful meditation techniques. And I felt much more relaxed and calm and happier. But it wasn't actually providing the answers. I wasn't discovering any answers. So I'd ask them questions and I'd say, well, what about this? Is there such a thing as spirit? Is there such a thing as soul and all this? And they would tell me what they believed. And I'll say, well, can you prove any of that? Or, is there any way that I can discover that for myself to be true? And cut a long story short, the answer was no. It was another situation where faith came in. I was asked to believe. So I moved on. Then I went to another place, quite local to here, big building, big sign up saying, the Age of Enlightenment. I thought, that sounds good, because I'd read loads of books on meditation, loads of books, and they all talked about chakras and reincarnation and all these different levels of existence and dimensions and all this. And I thought, well, if this is true, if it's actually true, I want to find out for myself. And I'd read that enlightenment was this state of possibility or state of being. And I thought, that sounds like what I'm looking for. So I went along there, and they said, I said, can I speak to somebody who's enlightened, please? And he said, there is nobody. I said, what do you mean? It says the Age of Enlightenment. He said, no, that's our spiritual teacher in India. Or I think he was living in the States at the time. I said, but what about me? And they invited me to believe in something. And they invited me to part with a lot of money as well. But I didn't have a problem with that if they'd have offered me something. But there wasn't actually anything on offer. And so it went on and on and on, until I discovered some meditation techniques that actually really did reveal some things so that I could know for myself. Now I'm going to give you an example of what knowing is. Because as a meditator, and you're becoming a meditator, you will start to change. Let's say, for instance, you're interested in stress relief and dissolving anxiety and all that. As you do the meditation, you will start to change. In this case, you'll start to change for the better. You'll feel so much better. But as you do so, your old thought patterns will be outdated. In fact, they'll need to be updated, just like your computer updates every night or whenever. Your old way of being will be out of date. So you're going to need to update. So what I'm inviting you to do is to consider what it is to know something. Because as you change, the things that you knew, you'll realise you didn't know. Or that it wasn't quite what you thought it was. And I'm going to give you an example. Imagine you are starving now. You're really hungry. So you think, right, no, I'll switch this video off and I'll go to an Italian restaurant. So you go in the restaurant and you think, oh, I'd love a pizza. I'd love a pizza. You're really looking forward. You're searching for a pizza, to experience the pizza. So you go in the restaurant, you sit down, and the waiter comes over and says, good evening. And they don't give you a pizza. They give you one of these. Something with, this is an Italian cookery book. Look at that pizza there. Beautiful pizza. And here it describes all the delicious vegetables, the tomato, the herbs, the lovely deep filled pastry, the crispy crust. And you think, yeah, I'll have one of them. I'll have one of them so that I can experience it for myself. And they say, oh, no, I'm sorry, that's all we've got. We're inviting you to visualize that. Or we're inviting you to believe in that. Or imagine that. Now, if you're hungry, just by looking at that, you will start to physically salivate and your gastric juices start to pour into your stomach in preparation for the food that you're looking for. So you'll have a physical experience. You're emotionally involved. So you'll have an emotional experience and you'll have a mental experience. But you and I know you haven't had the pizza. Now that is how most meditation is taught. They'll share with you some meditation techniques and then they will invite you to believe in something or visualize something or imagine something or have faith in something. But it's not real. It's not real. The techniques I'm going to share with you are real. What's that? That is a pizza. And until I put it in my mouth, I have no idea what it tastes like. Will I like it? Will I not? Is it hot? Is it cold? What is it like? So let's find out. See, there's no beliefs involved here. It doesn't matter what I believe. I'm actually eating it now. I can decide for myself. I'm having a personal, direct experience. My point is, and this is really important, you'll think, what's pizza got to do with meditation? But it's vitally important. There's believing in something, there's wishful thinking, there's imagination, there's visualization, there's all that stuff. And then there's the real thing of direct experience, where you make your own mind up. And in this case, that pizza's cold and it doesn't taste very good. But it's real. It can't get more real than that. It cannot get more real than that. And I'm inviting you to accept nothing less in your meditation. Now, I know when you first start meditating, it takes time to practice and become good at it. But I'll never invite you to visualize stuff, or to believe in stuff, or to imagine stuff, to fill the gaps in, to make the picture whole, so that you're left at the end of the meditation technique thinking, well, I don't know, I'm still not sure. Because you know, there's just no knowing in a belief. And I'm saying to you, I have got techniques to share with you where you can find out answers to the very deepest questions that you have. And you will find out for yourself, not from books or fancy pictures. Okay. Now, breath meditation. I said earlier that I'd like you to understand, or get some kind of understanding of how breath meditation works and why it works. So consider this. Imagine you've been invited to, say, a social function, or a function to do with work, but anything, a function where you have to go out of your comfort zone and go into a strange environment where there's lots of people. So you walk into the room. Now, you don't walk in there as a robot, looking at people and assessing their clothes, their dress, their style, their manners. That's all mental stuff. What actually happens is you walk in there and you have a gut feeling about people. Even before you've spoke to them, you have an idea or a concept or a feeling about them in your guts. And the reason for that is because we experience our everyday life through our tummy. This is where all our fears, our guard, this is where we protect ourselves, with our tummy. This is where we live, through our tummy. We're on guard. Our tummy is constantly, it's a big pile of nerves here that's constantly watching out in the environment, looking to protect you. And because it's looking to protect you, it's constantly on the guard. In an instant, before your mind has even made a conscious decision about somebody, you'll have a gut feeling. Be on guard. Or it might be, I like that person, and you soften. But it's all happening here in the tummy. And what tends to happen is, as we go through life, we're breathing. We take short breaths, especially in anxious situations. We take short breaths like this. And all the anxiety is stored here in the tummy. So, for instance, if you look at a baby, all babies have got big, fat tummies. They just relax the tummy. And it's a big, fat tummy, all of them, because they haven't learned to pull it in. They haven't learned it yet. They haven't started experiencing vast amounts of stress on a daily basis, where they start having shorter breaths, and shorter breaths, storing all this tension here in the tummy. This is what we do as adults. So as you come to meditation, you're natural, you're normal. You will have so much tension here in your tummy that you've got used to it. So what we're going to do is start to release the anxieties and stresses which are held here in your tummy. You'll find so much more freedom in your life and relaxation once this stress and anxiety is dissolved. And that's where breath meditation comes in. But also, there's another benefit from this breath meditation technique. Another reason why we do it like we do. See, the thing is, you're normal. So your mind's all over the place. Even while you're watching this video, you're thinking about this, I like this, I don't like this, that reminds me I'm going to have to go to the shop tomorrow. I've got to go to work tomorrow, I've got to do this, I've got to do this. Your mind is all over the place. And even a thought, you don't need to go in a room full of strangers, just a thought can create anxiety in your tummy. So that's more stress and more stress and more stress. And that's the kind of lives that people live, in a state of perpetually creating more anxiety, and they store it here in the tummy because the mind is flitting all over the place because it's unable to rest on one thing and just relax. So there's a few things going on with this meditation technique. One, we're going to relax the tummy. Just keep relaxing the tummy, keep relaxing the tummy. And two, we're going to keep controlling the mind and get it to rest on one thing. Now, once you get good at this, you'll be able to just rest on one thing, relax the tummy, dissolve your stress and anxieties and just let things go, and you'll feel great. But it's important that you understand, keep watching. Your mind will keep wandering off and you're going to bring it back. It's going to wander off and you just keep bringing it back. So don't feel bad if you struggle a bit. Congratulate yourself that you've noticed your mind wandering off, because it's wandering off all day long. This is why meditation really helps people's performance, whether it's in studying in schools, or whether it's in your working life, or whether it's just enjoying a film. Be able to relax on one thing without your mind wandering off. So we're going to relax the tummy and get control of this mind. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to show you now how to breath meditate. So, remember what we said in the first video in the introduction, a nice quiet environment, the phone switched off. I better check my phone. It's still off. It is. Phone switched off. Nobody's going to disturb you. Cats, dogs, everybody out. And you can have a meditate on a cushion on the floor so that your back's nice and supported against the wall like this. Or you can meditate in an armchair, a nice comfortable armchair, as long as your back's upright. That's the important thing, and keeping the chin open. Okay. Now I want you to watch me. I'm going to demonstrate and just talk through it now, and then I'm going to invite you to join me. But first, this is what I do. So my back's upright. Now I'm going to breathe in for a count of 4. I'm going to hold for a count of 4. And I'm going to breathe out for a count of 4. Then rest for a couple of seconds. Then repeat the cycle and just keep repeating the cycle. Now when I say counting, because I'm breathing in, obviously it's my mind that's doing the counting. So each time the mind wanders off, I'll just keep bringing it back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, and rest for a couple of seconds, and I start again. So you can see, mentally, we have to keep focused on the counting. Now I will say, when some people first do this, they find doing the 4, 4, 4 a bit difficult. If it's easier for you, do it 3, 3, 3 and rest. The important thing is to keep your attention firmly on the counting. When it wanders off, just bring it back. So that's how you're mentally gaining control. But the other really important aspect is to push down, breathe down into the tummy. Push it out, like a really fat tummy. Now I know as adults we've all got to think, oh, we've got to be nice and slim and slender and attractive and all that. So we keep all this in, but it's not helping you. It's not helping you. It's storing the anxiety here in the tummy. We want to push down on the abdomen. As you breathe in, push down with your diaphragm, push the tummy out. And hold it out like a big balloon. And then breathe out and breathe the tummy back in again. Okay? So I'm going to do that now. And now what I'm going to do to show you the counting, or just to highlight the counting, I'm going to tap with my hand so you can see the counting. So it's in, and rest. So I breathe in through my nose, down into the tummy, keeping my attention on the counting all the time, holding it, then breathing out. If you've got a blocked nose, breathe in through your mouth. It doesn't matter. It's just, as you get more relaxed, just breathe in, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, and rest. So I'll just do it one more time. Okay, so that was one cycle. What I want you to do now is to close your eyes, get comfortable and close your eyes. Get comfortable. When you're ready, with your mental voice, start to count to 4 and breathe in. So it's in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, and rest. That was one cycle. And when you're ready, begin another cycle. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, and rest. And just open your eyes. Now, as I mentioned earlier, that might feel a bit difficult to begin with. If it helps you, do it 3, 3, 3, and rest. If you're struggling with that, start off with 2. Just breathe in for 2, hold for 2, out for 2, and rest. And that's one cycle. And then just keep repeating the cycle over and over and over again. You can't do this meditation technique too long. There are a couple of things that you can really do to get more out of this meditation technique, and I'm going to show you. The first thing is the tummy. You've got to really push your tummy out. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Okay. And I'll show you side on view so that you can get a better example. Hopefully you can see that. So I'm sat up right here. I'll move my arm out of the way. So I'll breathe in, hold, out, and rest, in, hold, out, and rest. Put my shirt back on before I catch a cold. It's really important. It's a common thing. I've taught this technique for many, many years. And you understand now why we have to push the tummy out. It's because by stretching the tummy that you will let go, that you'll be able to dissolve the anxieties and stresses. Pushing, physically push the tummy out. And I can assure you, it gets easier and easier, this technique. It gets so much easier the more you do it. You will notice that your mind wanders off. That's normal. But with practice, it becomes easier and easier and easier. So don't give yourself a hard time. Some people say, oh, Francis, I had a terrible meditate the other day. I said, what do you mean terrible? He said, well, I noticed my mind was wandering off. I say congratulations. The fact that you noticed is a massive step. It's great because you've got distance, that you can see your mind wandering off. You've got distance. You're starting to be aware that it's wandering off, and then you can do something about it. So congratulate yourself. If you notice that your mind's not doing what you would like it to do, congratulate yourself, because now you've slowly been able to do something about it. So focus on the tummy and focus on the counting. That's all there is to this technique. It's simple, and it's a very, very powerful foundation for the other techniques that I'm going to share with you. All right, so that's breath meditation technique. What I suggest you do now is at the end of the video, switch it off and do 15 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever. If you've got any noisy clock or anything, any distractions, switch it off. But I find it, for me personally, I don't use a timer anymore. I just sit down and meditate for as long as I want to, till I feel I can stop. But if you are working to a time, set a timer either on your phone or whatever. Set the timer, even if it's 10 minutes. Even if you start off just doing 10 minutes, set a timer for in 10 minutes. And each time you notice your mind says, oh, I've had enough of this, just think, no, I'm going to do the 10 minutes and go back to the counting, putting your attention on the counting, breathing down into your tummy. And that way, you'll really start to experience the benefits by saying no to the mind. No, I'm not stopping, I'm carrying on. It might be you want to do an hour. Some people love this technique and they just do it for as long as they wish. All right, well, thanks for watching this breath meditation technique video, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. All right, bye for now.